Live. All right. Oh shit, I should leave this over here. Make sure we stay live. That's a very bad angle, man. Yeah. Fuck it. Yes. All right. Just shoot me. Get me there. How you doing? Craig Pasta, Jardul, everybody. We got the lavaliers working. We got the cameras. Laptop with the phone. Booting in the energy, the intranet, for you guys to check it out. We want to test, do some live streams this time out. So this is one of the live streams we're going to do. We're here. Fishing for housing right here, guys. Lahaina. Fishing fishing for Lahaina is the hashtag. Go to Lahaina Strong if you want to check out all their stuff. Very important. What's going on? You see all the flags. They got them down here. Got a bunch of tents. Got tents on the other side. Got a kitchen over there. Got the whole 9 yards. A medical tent. Kind of what we saw at the distribution centers where they were setting up and helping out people. This situation is a little bit different. This Lahaina, fishing for Lahaina is all about using a loophole within the law. Ancestry rights say they have the right to fish, and if they're fishing, you can stay overnight. So they're fishing every single day here on the beach, and they're going to stay here until the governor or the mayor, and I don't know if it's an emergency proclamation, but there's this list. I think it's called the Montoya list. I'll get the pronunciation proper again, because everything is registered. You got to register as an Airbnb, I'm assuming. And with some of the tax laws, I talked to somebody who was a bookkeeper, says they tax you for everything out here. So they got to know exactly what you're doing. But they have a list of like 2,400 short-term rentals, Airbnbs for visiting, tourism, that kind of thing. And what these people are trying to say is that we need long-term solutions over here. Staying with the Red Cross in the hotel rooms, we heard from one of the activists over here, one of the local activists, close to 30 groups, by the way, bonding together. They're starting to make gear together, like the H-Town, they call it, which was a Hanakapali distribution center, and Lahaina Strong. They made like a sweatshirt today, and the dude showed me, he's like, we're coming together here. These groups are bonding together because we want to make sure they use their power. This Montoya list that I was just talking about, 2,400 short-term rentals. They want to convert it into long-term rentals because people have been displaced. They can't have a place to live. They have a place to stay. Like we said, when it came to like people staying with the Red Cross, they get a phone call every 2 days. They got to check in. They got an inspection coming to make sure everything's cool with the room. So what they're trying to do is get people some long-term housing. So they sit up here on the beach. It's called Fishing for Lahaina, and that is what's going on. They're demanding that the mayor or the governor use his power to give them long-term housing, because a lot of people displaced from the fires. You can see it's one of the fanciest places over here is the Whalers Village. You got the Westin over here. So I think they chose this location for a reason. Until their demands are met, they're going to be here hunkering it down. So we just wanted to bring you live here and show you what's going on. What's up, buddy? People are hanging out, having a good time. The weather's great here in Maui. They just had some food over there that we're cooking. It was a nice long line. It looked really good. Junior was serving up some noodles and some beef. They got a Maui medical tent. Everything's here. So check it out. Lahaina Strong. My man, what's up? Lahaina Strong. Fishing for Lahaina, fishing for housing. See a way you can help them out. The best thing we can do right now, guys, is share this information. This is a brand new channel. Hardly anybody's on it. First time going live, portable and stuff like that. So it's just the beginning. Lahaina on Fire, Volume 2 will be coming out. We'll be explaining what's going on. We've been talking to activists, local businessmen. We got a lot of stuff to show you, man. But this is awesome, guys. All the links are down below if you can find out any way to help. If you got a few extra bucks and you're in a position, we got no corporate sponsors. There ain't no media down here. We were told by somebody the other day, media ain't coming around here. They're trying to keep this quiet. We're going to go meet with Ellie Cochran right now and talk to her. You know, there's less than 100 people. The official numbers are dead. We went up and we counted the crosses. There's 135 crosses with name on it. That's right there. People are still saying this is bullshit. It's a smack in the face. At the very least, some serious negligent stuff went on here. And it's obvious, you know, they have all these emergency proclamations for this and that, giving themselves all powers to control the water, to do this. But there's no emergency proclamations to get an independent investigation. There's no emergency to provide housing for the people who live here. And people have told us, a lot of people just felt beat over the head, man. They're just taking what the government told them. They don't want to cause any problems. And a lot of them have left island. And notice how it said left island. That's how they talk. And it's a sad
Left island, on island. That's how they do talk over there in Maui, guys. Welcome to Pasta to Go, one of the first episodes we are doing here. If you notice the time, it's 6 o'clock. We're going to be doing it at 6 o'clock Eastern time every Tuesday and Thursday. We're going to have a new setup next week. This is kind of like just breaking it in slowly, getting the ball rolling. So do us a favor. This is my YouTube channel right now. It's the first time I've had monetization on YouTube in over 3 years. So please go ahead and share. Hopefully we can make this your new home on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. And it's going to be an all-encompassed channel. The reason why we're calling it Pasta to Go is you saw me there in Maui. I got a video coming out where I'm in Nicaragua. So I'm going to show you a little bit of everything I do behind the scenes, in front of the camera and everything. You know, when I'm in these different countries, it's going to be a mixture of Anthony Bourdain meets Tucker Carlson meets Bobby Bacala from The Sopranos. And yes, Bobby Bacala is my favorite character on The Sopranos. He's the one that's loved the most. He's got the biggest heart, and he's got a great love for food. So in the next video I got coming up, if you're not subscribed to this channel, Pasta to Go, please subscribe. Share it out there. There is a Rumble too as well. You might see us on YouTube as well. But if you're on the, the Combo Couch YouTube, if you're on the Combo Couch YouTube, what we need you to do is we need you to come on over to the Pasta to Go YouTube. So do us a favor. Come on over to the Pasta to Go YouTube. We're going to be about here 10 minutes on the Combo Couch YouTube. But this is a new place on Tuesdays and Thursdays at this time. CheeseSlice, if you could put that link in the chat, let everybody get over to that YouTube. It's so important we get over to that YouTube. And we support. If you haven't seen my documentary, Lahaina on Fire, The Aftermath, Volume 1, it is on this channel, Pasta to Go. And the second one we made will also be on this channel. So go ahead and get over to that channel. You can actually leave a super chat. Test it out if you can. I think you can leave a super chat on the YouTube. Check it out. Let's see if we can do that. Pasta to Go. I don't know why the $ isn't coming up yet for the super chats. But from what I believe is that you can leave a super chat. We will definitely check it out. Guys, please get over to my new channel, Pasta to Go. So let's get the ball rolling. It's going to be an easy show today, not a big one. But this is fascinating, crazy situation. You saw what I was doing over there live in Maui and Ka'anapali, right? Ka'anapali. I can't say it right. But it's just a little bit north of Lahaina. And this particular group, they called Lahaina Strong, have now hunkered down on the beach using their ancestral laws, stating that if they're fishing, they can stay at the beach over the night. And if they can stay at the beach overnight, they can then camp out there. So what they've done is almost 30 groups have banded together or bonded together, whatever word you want to use, and are sleeping on the beach. And they want the mayor to enact an emergency proclamation, which turns what's called the Montoya's list of 2,400 properties from short-term properties into long-term properties. Now, why I say this is so fascinating is, yes, it's a very sad situation. It's a very sad story that these people have lost their housing. And whether or not you believe whatever started the fire, it's easy to prove a lot of negligence from the government in which they let these people down. The water was turned off. The sirens weren't sounded. The police were blocking people in. It was just a tragedy. Either way, people are unhoused. They want to stay on West Maui. They want to stay on the island of Maui, more importantly, and they have nowhere to go. So this encompasses a lot of things we talk about all the time. As you know, I'm close to the Libertarian Party, and I'm going to have the Libertarian chair join us right now to talk about this. What role should the government play? Now, this is a point where me and people like Fiorello, where we have these somewhat socialist views. We're not authoritarians, right? We believe in freedom of speech. We are anti-censorship, freedom of the press, and where we definitely share a lot of bonds, a lot of issues on the same page and the same issues as libertarians is our anti-interventionism, right? There are still some differences. I think the way that a lot of the people of the Libertarian Party, including people like Scott Horton, the way they look at Hamas and the way we look at Hamas is a little bit different. I remember we had differences when it came to Putin. Was he justified or was he not justified? Fiorello and I felt he was justified in doing what he was doing. Scott thought he wasn't justified, however, dealing with the situation and definitely shining a light on what the United States did to push this situation, this proxy war. So let's bring her on in. She is a good friend of mine. She is awesome. I think she's done an amazing job. She is the chair of the Libertarian Party. Ladies and gentlemen, Angela McArdle is here today.
Hey there. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. This is such an intriguing situation. I couldn't wait on. I asked Clint to come on, but Clint was doing something, so I said, well, let me just go right to the horse's mouth. Let me go to the top of the food chain. Let me go to the Don Corleone of the Libertarian Party. And here she is, Angela McArdle. So, Angela, let's just jump right into this. And ladies and gentlemen, what we need you to do is we need you to go over to the Pasta to Go YouTube channel. CheeseSlice is going to consistently share the link in the chat so you can see it and you can get on over there and do so. So, as we talked about, 30 groups, almost 28 groups have joined together, and they're hunkering down on the beach, right? They have tapped into the ancestry laws, which say if you're fishing on the beach, you're allowed to stay overnight. So they put up a bunch of poles there, and they set up a bunch of tents behind them. And what they're asking the governor or the mayor to do, because the mayor has the power, is enact an emergency proclamation turning what's called the Montoya list, which is 2,400 private properties, Airbnbs, short-term rentals, which you have to apply for, and then you can get those what's the word I'm looking for? Those permission. It's oh my Lord, I'm lost for words. You can get permission to have a short-term rental. In other words, in Maui, you have to register as a short-term lease as an Airbnb. They want to be able to tax you, Angela. That's what's going on. They want to tax. That's what it is. Now it seems like it's biting them right in the ass because these activists have said, "Hey, you need to turn that short-term housing into long-term housing." Right. Now, if in fact they do it the old school libertarian way, where the government doesn't get involved, and they say, just let the market work itself out. Let these people, if they want to do it, let them do it. In fact, I think the county's afraid to enact an emergency proclamation because they're a fear of they're going to get sued. But if they don't do anything, a lot of these victims, close to 6,000, anywhere between 6,000 and 7,000 of them, are going to be forced to leave the island. So give us your opinion. Where? What's that?
Forced to leave the island and go where?
Probably to the mainland. There are some opportunities maybe on the Big Island, but for the most part, a lot of people have already left the mainland, gone to California, gone to the Midwest, gone to, the mainland America because, rents are not so cheap in Maui. So, Angela, what are your thoughts on what the government should or should not do when it comes to this situation in Lahaina?
I mean, this is a really complex situation. I think the best thing to do is try to figure out what all's going on. There's got to be more to it than just, should the government give money or should they not? Were these people insured? Did insurance companies refuse to pay out? Because that definitely happened.
Yeah.
Didn't it?
From what I've talked to, some people have not been able to tap into their insurance. There's obviously a lot of red tape. I know you libertarians hate the red tape, but for the most part, most of these people were working class and poor, so they couldn't afford insurance. And it was a lot of rental properties too, as well. A lot of the people didn't know them. So no, there wasn't a ton of insurance for these people.
There's got to be some. I feel like people are not trying hard enough to actually help these people. I don't mean people like you. Obviously, you are. But people in government, can we not try to work out a deal with Airbnb, who wants to have the best possible image, right? Can we not cut a deal with them and say, hey, we'll relax your situation, so, somewhere else, XYZ, we'll cut your red tape if you'll do some vouchers and actually pay for these people to be put up in these short-term rentals for 6 months to a year? Can we do anything like that? I feel like there's got to be something. There's got to be like multiple avenues to keep these people in their homes and help them rebuild. I'm sure there's all kinds of grants. There's got to be places where you can pull money from government programs. Otherwise, don't we have a lot of bloated pensions and bureaucratic budgets that we can pull from to help people out in genuine need? That's where I'd start by looking.
It's funny that you mention this because I've been talking about this is what good governance should be, right? Like I feel, and we've heard speculation that there's close to $400 million that's been given by the national federal government to Hawaii to use to help in their efforts. If the government, the mayor, were to go to these Airbnb owners and say, listen, what we'll do is we'll give you 50% above market for a year's rental. We'll provide insurance for your property, and we'll let you be part of the whole selective process of picking the tenants, and we're going to put your name in shiny lights, saying you went along with this program to help out. For about $200 million, you could probably house everybody that's displaced for 1 year, right? And that's a bargain when it comes to governmental spending, especially
right. Oh, for sure.
So that's what I look at as good governance. Like, okay, the government is not forcing people to do anything, but they're in there brokering a deal. And that's what I do see from a lot of collective governments and socialist governments, like in Nicaragua, when I've seen situations like this before. Do you think it's okay for the government to broker a good deal as long as they're not forcing anybody to do it?
Sure. I mean, this is an imperfect system, right? Like, I'm not able to transport us to a libertarian paradise right now. I want the government to do what they can where they're screwing the least number of people over, right? Like, we're not forcing property owners. We're not twisting their arm and making them do something egregious. We're not putting them at financial risk too, because then everybody gets screwed over, right? We want as many people to be in as good a position as possible. That's what I think.
Yeah. So you would, in fact, then, I hope my microphone's working now. It's been kind of cutting in and out. Probably sounds better. So you, in fact, think as a libertarian, it's okay for the government to not necessarily force people to do stuff by force, but to broker a good deal using governmental funds.
If it exists, yeah. I mean, if it's already there, we're already in this poison system. Doing that is the best way, I think, we want to maximize the potential to do good and minimize the bad that we do. And I think that that's the best way to go about it. And it's probably the most cost-effective and fiscally responsible way to do it too, is to just work directly with the people who own the property. We don't need another administration. I would definitely oppose hiring a whole ton of people, and letting the money go there. Should just go to the people who need it.
So what do you say to those libertarians that say the government shouldn't get involved whatsoever? I mean,
well,
I know that you guys want to have as less government as possible, but isn't there a role for them to play? And sometimes leftist libertarians that have socialist central planning beliefs like me come into play right here in a situation like Lahaina?
You can. I mean, I would prefer government not exist at all. I'm trying to operate within the framework of reality right now. Like, this is not a theoretical situation. It's very real. You were just there, you're meeting these people. I don't know what this is not a good setup. And then they're not even allowed to stay. We have, I guess they're fishing on the beach, which I appreciate that. They're making a good stand. But if there's going to be taxpayer money that's sucked up and used, can we at least use it responsibly? Like, it's not like I'm in love with the idea of the government giving anybody a quote unquote handout, but this is like Hurricane Katrina. You've got people whose lives have been decimated, and we only have a couple of potential paths forward. We're just going to have to do what we can. We just want to do the best job possible.
Angela, really quickly, we're going to go to my YouTube channel only. We're going to take a quick minute break. I think this is awesome. We'll finish up with this subject, and we'll also get your opinions about Argentina. But before we do that, please let everybody know what you got going on, because I know you want to plug it.
Absolutely.
So go ahead and plug it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the time right now where you have to get on over to Pasta to Go. This is going to be a short show today. We're kind of just taking it for test drives. First guest ever, Angela McArdle. I love her. I mean, this is why I like the Libertarian Party so much, and I think what they got going on. I wish they would get an awesome candidate to run for president. We know that kind of sucks, and I don't want to put you on the spot there. But let everybody know what you got coming on. We'll get off this channel, take a quick minute break, and just finish up on Pasta to Go.
Absolutely. So I'm super stoked to announce that we're going to be having another anti-war rally. February 17th, back in Washington, D.C., in front of the Lincoln Memorial. We are issuing a challenge to anybody who wants to come with us to help us defeat the deep state. We are calling for the abolition, removal, shutdown, get rid of it, of all of these unconstitutional alphabet agencies. And what we want to do with this rally is we really want to paint the picture that the wars that are happening overseas, whether it's Ukraine, Palestine, anywhere else, they are propped up by the military-industrial complex. This is a call to end the military-industrial complex, to abolish the CIA, to get rid of all the agencies that enable regime change, spying, the imprisonment of wonderful people like Julian Assange. So join us at Defeat the Deep State, February 17th. It's going to be the Saturday in Washington, D.C., in front of the Lincoln Memorial. I'm super stoked. Just like the last one, this is put together by volunteers. We're not a paying organization, although I would love this to be that in the future if we ever get there. But right now, we just need support to get all of our infrastructure and logistics together, the stage, the sound system, and all of that good stuff. So if you can drop us a donation at rageagainstwar.com, we would be ever so grateful.
And just like last time, all the expenses will be visible for everybody to see, nothing to hide, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, this is a volunteer effort. One day, right? One day, I hope that we can turn this into a thing where we have paid employees and we're lobbying really hard against the war machine in Washington, D.C. But right now, we're just doing this rally, and it's a passion project.
You know, it's a lot of people are already mentioning Tulsi in the chat. We'll talk about this when we come back. We're going to take a quick 1-minute break. We're going to come back with Angela. We're going to wrap the show up. We're going to talk a little bit about Argentina. We're going to talk a little bit more about Lahaina, and we're going to finish up one of our first episodes of Pasta to Go. The new look, we're going to be in the new studio look will be next week. We're going to see a lot what we saw in the past as far as deconstructing the news and all that good stuff. So we'll be right back after these messages. We're going to go to a quick break. Stay with us. Share this, guys. Time to get over right now. Pasta to Go. We have it on Rumble. We have it on YouTube. Check it on out. We'll see you in a second. Got to All right, we're back. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much, guys. Listen, do us a favor and share this link out right now. It's only a few people here, but we're going to keep this going. We're going to keep this growing. You can see the new green backdrop over there. We're going to unveil our new logo, Pasta to Go, next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have a lot of great guests. We're going to have continued guests, commentators, that quarter thing, contributors. Don DeBar will be one. Diane Sayre will be another one. A lot of these people that, Angela knows as well, because there's like this bond between leftists and libertarians, even though it's kind of interesting because Diane Sayre is an independent LaRouche person of sorts. However, she's kind of like an anti-imperialist leftist. And Don DeBar, he's an old school. Remember when you guys did the whole Don DeBar, Mel K, which I'll be on her show next week, and Angela McArdle, they were all on to show a libertarian, a populist right, and a Marxist leftist all agree on when it comes to being anti-interventionist or, regime change wars and how we push back against that. Angela, we just talked about Lahaina. I'm glad that you told me that, let's have some good governance here. Let's find a way that we broker a deal. I think that we should do the same thing as well. That the money's there, we can find a way. I think that if you overpaid for something for the citizens, it's okay than overpaying for war. In Argentina last week, we had a so-called libertarian get elected over the defense minister of Argentina, who was a leftist of sorts, which was very weird that he ran, and it was kind of weird that they ran him. They had a problem with the vice president, who was the favorite, very popular populist leftist, who couldn't run because she's facing charges. However, we have argued that it's a situation where, hey, man, you can't just go full libertarian, right? I don't mean to like whatchamacallit, what's that show with the Tropic Thunder? Never go full, you know what? But you can't go full libertarian over here. And you see Javier Milei pulling down all these, unnecessary departments in which a lot of libertarians can't stand because they do this spending. However, it's a different situation. You have BRICS coming into play. You have the IMF. Traditionally, what happens with a lot of these Latin American countries is that they're forced to use the U.S. monetary system. IMF loans come. They almost always default on it, and then they're forced to privatize their natural resources that were once nationalized that helped the country out. What are your thoughts on this new president over here? Because I know I've given a lot of your comrades, as you don't like to call them, a lot of your colleagues a really hard time going, man, I don't think you guys understand what's going on in Argentina and Latin America. I don't think you can take a state that is dependent on a lot of social programs and just yank it really quickly without some serious destruction happening and a lot of the working and poor class not suffer. Go ahead, your thoughts.
Well, I think we're going to see what happens, right? So pulling out of BRICS and going on the dollar, I don't think that would have been my call, but I also don't fully understand what he's going to try to do when he gets rid of the central bank. So I totally support him getting rid of the central bank. I do not support him taking out loans with the IMF, the World Bank, any of that. That would be a huge red flag for me. The dollar thing, I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's a lot more stable right now than the peso and what's going on with their currency. But it's a sort of a like you get in bed with the devil kind of situation. Some people prefer the devil they know. I guess he's gonna get familiar with our devil really quick. And he's made comments on this World Economic Forum thing and says that he's not like a leader of the World Economic Forum, that he's joined it, I don't know, just like a lot of other people do to try to have some influence or whatever. But we're going to see what happens. I'm really kind of nonplussed by someone having a profile with the WEF, their involvement in it, and to what extent their involvement is, and whether or not they're trying to use any of that policy is what I think is very important. And he has said that he's a hardcore Rothbardian anarcho-capitalist. So it remains to be seen whether or not he'll govern like one, because IMF, that certainly wouldn't be anarcho-capitalist.
Don't these situations, when you see stuff like this, though, make you nervous as a libertarian? Because, like, okay, so the economics are there, right? Let's say he's got these economics that are good. Like, look, Argentina's system is what put them in a lot of trouble. The inflation is going off the roof. It's obvious that they wanted to make a change the way the situation was. But when you see situations like this, with him showing up to Congress with a Ukrainian flag and a mask on outside, and he's clearly stated that he's not an anti-vaxxer, and that doesn't mean he's pro-vaccine or he's going to have mandates, but it does definitely put you in that area of concern. We also saw him waving the Israeli flag as soon as he got in. Don't these situations make you a little concerned as a libertarian, with him being such an interventionist, at least what he's shown us so far?
Sure. I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about his foreign policy yet. I mean, obviously being a strong anti-war person, I'm not all about dumping money into Ukraine or Israel. I think that right now, my position as chair of the National Libertarian Party, I have a really good opportunity to do some good influencing. And I think one of the things that we could work on in the activist community is trying to influence people for the better behind the scenes before we rush to judgment on them publicly. And that's definitely the role that I have to take with Javier Milei and the Libertarian Party in Argentina, because there's a really good chance that they're going to be able to do some seriously good work, in my opinion. And I need to be there to provide some positive, but firm guidance on foreign policy.
Angela, you've always been so awesome. I always love having you on. I love getting your opinions. Thank you for coming on my new show. It's a short show today. It's just the tip of the iceberg. I look forward to you coming on and having more conversations on Pasta to Go. And I look forward to seeing you in D.C. in just a couple months as we get out there. We try to defeat the deep state.
And you're going to speak.
Yes, I'm going to speak. I'm definitely going to speak, So, I'm looking forward to it and looking forward to participating. I thought that the first one that was there, I felt very, very much connected to it because, we go back to when we met each other finally at Freedom Fest. This is something I think both of us have been pushing, this kind of unity, this area where we can find a lot in common. I have had the shows, the Smith Door 24, where I took Clinton, Dave Smith, Jimmy Dore, and we got in a room and we had conversations, and I was always in Jimmy's ear about, hey, the libertarians, man, there's a spot for us as leftist libertarians. And, I was like, but man, Medicare for all. What are we going to do to accomplish that? These guys with their economic policies. And I don't think we'll ever agree on economic policies. We'll probably bump heads there as well. But there's some similarities as well, making sure that we want to get away from the IMF and the World Bank and the Fed. I want to get rid of the Fed just as badly as you do because they're awful in what they do to people. And I really do. I think that when it came to this whole Israel-Palestine situation, I was like, yep, see, we made the right pact with these people over there.
Absolutely.
They're with us, right?
Absolutely. And some of our guys, like presidential candidate Michael Ruchtenwald, he has been dropped by his publisher. He has really come under fire for saying, I don't support what the Israeli government is doing. And it's a tough row to hoe sometimes, but it is the right thing to do. We have to stand up against war. We have to stand up against the military-industrial complex. It doesn't matter how unpopular it is. We can't be in support of people who are just getting firebombed and innocent civilians murdered abroad.
Absolutely. Angela McArdle, ladies and gentlemen, please go to her Twitter. Go take a look at the new Defeat the Deep State rally that's going to be in February in D.C., thank you again, Angela, and we'll speak to you very soon.
Thank you.
You got it. No, put me back on. I'll leave it be. Okay. Dude, there we go. All right, guys. Thank you so much. So, guys, that's it for today. It's a very short show. We just want to go around 40 minutes, and we did. We just want to kind of get the news out there. What's up, Extra Bulla, Uncle Warren? It's great to see you guys. Anita Purchase says, hey, at least you kept your good sense of humor, huh? I guess I don't know what that means. I've never lost my sense of humor, and I will always have my sense of humor. Maybe you were talking to somebody else. Tras says that Javier is a Rothschild's simp. I hope you're talking about Javier and not me, because I don't like the Rothschilds. Anita Purchase says again, that sounds great, Mr. Craig. It does sound great. We're going to hit DC up and have that good rally. And Popeye Sailor says, I got disabled in a car accident. When they told me what happened getting hit by a car, I said, so I'm off work tomorrow? Look who else has kept their sense of humor. And look at this here. Super Ray, Brady Stewart, thank you so much. The Combo Couch received a tip. Guys, we're going to check out is it working yet? I don't see it. Is the super chat working in the YouTube channel yet or no? Is it not working? We got to figure out what's going on over there. We'll test and see what's going on, but there is supposed to be monetization inside the new YouTube channel. Extra Bullet, thank you so much. This is only the start of this. This was a test run. Starting next week, we'll have the new studio set up, new camera, new background, the whole 9 yards. We're going to do it every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. So please come check us out, guys. Thank you so much. That's it. Pasta to go, one of the first episodes in the studio. We'll be back on Thursday. I'll probably be talking with Don DeBar. I haven't asked him yet, but I'm going to ask him, and he always usually says yes. So we'll probably have him there. I'll be on Mel K shows next week. Charlie Robinson's show. I was just on Rachel Blevin's show and I was on The Gaggle as well. I've been talking a lot about Lahaina. I'm going to continue to talk about Lahaina. Remember, if you haven't signed up, Pasta to go, please join. Subscribe right now. It's going to be an awesome channel. Lahaina on Fire, Volume 1 was shown there. Lahaina on Fire, Volume 2, which we just got done shooting. It's in post-production now. We're going to release it around Christmas or New Year's. What we're going to do is we're going to find a way to give incentives to anybody who's one of our local members or anybody who's going to get a subscription on the YouTube channel and get it to them first, maybe a week ahead of everybody else. But guys, I can't wait for you to see this movie. It's going to be amazing. Lahaina on Fire, Volume 2. Thank you for joining in today. We'll see you soon. I don't know what my new phrase tag is, but, you know, it's Pasta to go, and we'll see you soon. Thank you so much.